Hello, everybody. It's Ed Rosenberg again, and tonight I have the privilege to speak to Emily Murray from Cascadia. Emily, how you doing?
Hi, I'm well, thanks.
Okay, great, Emily, and thank you for coming on. Now, first of all, Emily works now for Cascadia. She works with Kelly Johnston, who many in our group are very familiar with. I'm very familiar with, and Rachel Greer. Emily, like Rachel and Kelly, is also an ex-Amazonian. Can you tell me a little bit what you did on Amazon, please?
Yes, I worked at Amazon in the late 90s and I helped to sort of put together the Amazon customer service infrastructure in a lot of ways, I suppose. So there was a lot of blurb writing. Blurbs tend to be canned language that you put together for your customers to keep your message on point. And so a lot of putting together messages for customers, libraries of those. I helped a little bit with the customer service platform. They were in the middle of creating their dashboard, so I got to have a little bit of input on that, which was sort of cool. And yeah, so I worked there from 98 to 2001 doing a lot of customer service in email capacity as a lead sometimes. It was a very young company, so lots of things in the customer servicey world.
Now, do you miss Amazon at all, or you don't?
I really don't. It was a valuable experience. I worked there twice, actually. I worked there in the late 90s, and then I worked there again from 2011 to 2014. And those were two completely different experiences, and both were valuable for different reasons. But to be honest with you, I do not miss it. I miss the 90s more,
Okay.
the 90s Amazon more.
Right. It was probably you knew everybody. It was a smaller company, less corporate.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing. Amazon gave me knowledge and tools that at the time I did not even know would ultimately give me the life that I have now, which is a perfect life for me. So it's very, very hard for me to, say with too much vigor that I don't miss them.
Right.
But I'm grateful and I won't go back.
Okay, we got that. Fair enough. What do you mean by customer experience? I know you talk a lot about customer experience. What do you mean by that?
Because the customer experience, it can mean a lot of things. It can mean, how easy it is to use your store, how easy it is to use your website, how easy it is for you to give them your money. You'd be surprised how hard it is sometimes just to pay for a thing that you want to buy. The ease of the shipping, the expectations being met where shipping is concerned. If it says that it's going to take a week, that's cool. If it takes a week and a half, that's going to not contribute to a happy customer experience. And then I think, even Amazon went so far as to institute a thing called frustration-free packaging. I think the customer experience could even be opening the package if you cut yourself. If you
Right.
slice yourself and bleed, that's not a very good experience. And then lastly, of course, that you like the product. And if you don't like the product, how easy is it to undo the transaction?
Right.
Lots of pieces.
Right. So this is mainly for private label sellers what you do, what you work with. Is that correct? Because if I'm dealing with a branded item, nothing much I can
Yeah,
do.
yeah, that's probably about half of what I do at this point. Private label sellers, and the other half is just sellers who sell anything at all, who just need help with that customer experience. Um,
How important would you say packaging is in a private label item? Would you say it's very important, or you think people just look at the item and, you know?
For private label, I think it is absolutely extremely, extremely important. It's probably as important as the item itself, to tell you the truth. Back to the Gucci watch and the poly bag. But this time now, this is actually your brand, and you're creating this look and this feel, and sort of like how the blurbs will give you a constant, consistent tone and cadence about your communications. The same is true for the packaging of the product as well as the product. They should match, they should go, they should both be appealing. Um,
Right.
Definitely, very
Right.
important.
Now, I mean, you think, I know we spoke before about the Gucci watches coming just crumpled up, not on a Gucci You think that's what leads to a lot of inauthentics from Amazon?
I think that really, really, really does. I've seen, I'm not always 100% successful, but I've seen really, really good success by just beefing up the customer's understanding of why packaging is important. I really don't think that people, unless you've had an experience with it, understand the importance of it, you know.
Right.
Um, as soon as you receive something that's crumpled up in bubble wrap, you'll know exactly why it's important. But until you do, maybe you really don't. And so I work with a lot of those people who just don't, why does it matter how it's packaged? They're just going to throw it away anyway.
Right. So
Just
now,
so
but
true. It's so true.
now let's say I don't have, let's say it is an original watch and I don't have the Gucci box, so I just sell it on eBay. Like, what should I do?
Yeah, you should probably sell it on a different platform. Or another thing that you can do is just make your own listing and just indicate that this is an authentic Gucci watch. I have the certificate of authenticity. I just don't have the box, or something like that. I actually have a lot of jewelry that's in that state that I can prove to you that it's authentic, but I don't actually have the original box that it came in.
Hmm.
Uh,
Right. So,
so
so inauthentic basically means that the customer thinks that it may be fake, not
right, it
counterfeit.
doesn't mean that it actually is at all. When I have to return something to Amazon, I have to designate a reason why. And as as pathetic almost as it sounds, the answer that we get the most often about that is Amazon just doesn't give very many options for returns, so I just picked one, and that's just the closest one. And so that's why, that's why it's very important to keep on these returns and make sure that you're keeping in contact with your customers. Because it might be nothing, and if it's nothing and Amazon has something to say about it, you can come back with, it's nothing, I already checked, here you go.
Hmm. Right. What do you do? What do you do when sellers put together content on a detail page? Like, what would you say is the most important piece of information?
Um, I think the most important thing is to be concise with your wording. I see so many titles that are so long, like they're ridiculously long. When I was learning how to write a detail page, I would just copy Amazon's. Honestly, I would just copy what was already there. What's the rough length of their
Hmm.
title? How did they title this? What was the thing that did they indicate the color? How did they describe it in the title? And then the bullet points, what do those bullet points look like? They're not big, long paragraphs talking about each little feature of the thing. They're, sturdy construction, made of, poly something, something. And then just next line. Like it's not real flowery language. It's very, very simple.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that that's one of the most important things. And also search engine friendly. You have to learn, if you don't know how you should hire someone, how to SEO your pages so that the words that are contained in your detail pages are actually search terms that will get people to your listing.
Now, why does Amazon care so much about customer service? Like, do you think maybe they're overdoing it at this point? Because
Possibly. Well, yeah, I mean, the reason that they care is because that is what the entire company is built on.
Mhm.
Their goal has always been to be the most customer centric company on earth. That's just always been the plan, to work hard, have fun, make history. Those are very important things to them at the very, very core of what they do. It always is going to come back to the customer. One of the things that I really admire about them, and I'm trying to take to heart as we build this new company together, is just that they don't think too much about their competitors. They care only about their customers, because if the customer is taken care of, then the competitor will also be taken care of. Now,
Right,
won't they? Because the customer will just keep coming back.
right,
And so I really like that way of thinking. That makes sense to me. Mind your business, do what you're doing, do it well, and don't really worry about what they're doing.
hmm,
And there's room for everyone. There really is no competition. And in the context of this conversation. And
right.
so, they care so much about customers because they are the lifeblood of the business, and they will never forget that.
Right.
It's a wonderful thing.
Right. I mean, but like, I always wanted to know this question, like, what's stopping me, or me, but anybody? I could buy a plasma TV for $5,000,
Hmm.
and just say it was garbage and just send it back.
Hmm.
Send back my old TV, and because that stuff's happened to me as a seller. Like, I've sold,
Hmm.
when I used to sell high-end car audio items, I would sell a $700 Clarion, whatever stereo system, and then they would get it back and they would send back, the old one. It doesn't happen too often. Most people don't do this.
Yeah.
But Amazon is so obsessed with customer service. Like, what stops anybody from just doing that? They could buy like, would they ever kick off a buyer, or would they ever?
Yes, that's a fine question. Not a lot does stop them, and you could get away with that once, and then they would. They have fired buyers. They have closed accounts. There have been times when that happens, and you can see when a customer is being abusive. It's very, very easy to see. And so they do get a lot of tries. They get a lot of chances, and Amazon does get taken advantage of sometimes. But on the other hand, the goodwill that they create is, again, it's the customer experience. It's the only thing they care about. I was just thinking about this one time. I was working on a customer safety thing. The second time I worked at Amazon, it was a customer safety capacity, and I would investigate safety complaints. And this woman had claimed that it was a toy or food had killed her cat. And her cat had died as a direct result, she said. And there was honestly no way that I could prove that it had or had not been the fault of the product. And I felt terrible. And so I escalated it to this customer service escalation team. And the woman sent her a huge bouquet of flowers
Mm-hmm.
from everyone at Amazon. Sorry about your cat. It was the most simple thing, and it was so touching. And that woman was so happy and told everyone. And guess what? So did I tell
Right.
everyone. All 700 of my friends on Facebook heard all about it. So that's going to make up for the guy who, sends back his, broken old flat screen.
Right.
Because and you should have seen the comments on my thread. Everyone was like, yeah, love
Right.
Amazon, blah, blah, blah,
Right.
that's so they don't worry about who's trying to mess with them. They worry about what they're doing right, and everything else kind of falls in place for them, it
Yeah,
seems.
because the sellers, bottom line is, sellers don't care how well they treat. I mean, they don't care, but sellers go where the buyers are,
Yeah.
and buyers go where they're happy. So that's Amazon's logic. We're gonna
Yeah.
make the buyer happy no matter what, and then the
Ex-
sellers come flocking because no seller's gonna say, they don't treat me right, I'm not gonna deal. So that's the
exactly.
that's the situation we're in. But you don't think? I mean, I think there are situations where it's gotten to the point where maybe it's gone too far, but you don't think it's going to change in the near future.
No, I don't think it'll change in the near future. I think that they will just keep expanding their business, and they'll just keep coming up with new ideas, and they'll just keep changing things. But it's never it's never going to stop them being pretty free with the discounts. And again, they will catch you. There's actually a formula. They call it the sugar index, actually. I hope I'm allowed to say that, but it's how much sugar you've gotten. What have we already gotten you?
Mhm.
What's the ratio of how much money you've spent and how much we've given you back? And if your
Mhm.
sugar index is high, you're gone,
Mhm.
because now
Really.
you're costing us money. And that kind of press, like, we don't really care about that. Like,
Right.
now you're abusing us. We want to
Mhm.
focus on the lady who's broken hearted about her cat. you
Right.
know
Right.
um, so yeah, and I suppose any seller could institute some kind of little sugar index for themselves. It does make sense. If I'm a returning customer and I'm buying lots of merchandise from you, and this one time I buy this really expensive thing and I'm really not happy with it, even if that makes it so that it's zero, this really expensive thing I'm unhappy with, I'm going to return. I've still had this relationship with you. I've still bought things from you. I'm probably going to buy again, if you take it back this time.
Right.
Um, So yeah, a sugar index is a nice thing to have, a good baseline, you know.
Right. What do you say about this? Like, this happens every day. An item is sent. It says delivered. The guy says he didn't get it.
Yeah.
Nothing you could do. What's stopping anybody from doing it? I mean, I get packages coming to me every day from Amazon. Right. Me, my
Hmm.
wife, we order from Amazon every day. We never
Hmm.
sign for it. I mean, technically, somebody wanted to not be honest. I could say didn't get it,
Hmm.
and there's
Yeah.
nothing anybody can do.
Yeah, and some people do that too. Basically, what Amazon does is you get one or two freebies where that's concerned, and then they just tell you that they won't deliver to that address anymore.
Hmm.
Or another thing that's just, I think it's just good advice, require a signature. If it can't be delivered with a signature, take it back to the place, make them come get it, you know.
Hmm.
But yeah, that does happen. And there have honestly been times when sometimes people don't get something in their box, or they actually, the package isn't received. Their dishonest neighbor did steal it
Right.
from them or something. And in that case, again, it really behooves you to try and see it from the customer's perspective and try and partner with them because it's already going sideways. Something's already going wrong.
Right.
So you might as well at this point be like, I hear you. Okay, so can we wait one more day? Can we, let's figure it out together because I don't want you to be without your thing, but at the
Right.
same time, yeah.
I went to a feedback. Great outfit. Didn't match my, but it was negative. Didn't match my wardrobe.
Right. Yeah, and there's a lot of those. Like, okay, well, sorry about
Like that's my problem.
that.
I'll,
Right.
I'll try, and it's Amazon. I gotta say, I'll try harder next time.
Yeah, I know. You gotta say something. It's really funny though, some of the things that some people put. And I wish that people understood how that impacts your score. Like once you have many, many reviews, it's not that big of a deal. And something that ridiculous, most people would laugh. I swear I've read that very review, so it probably was your sale.
Right.
But at the same time, it does affect you. If that was your first sale,
You're done.
and then you get that, because all I'm doing is I'm just scrolling looking for a multicolored sweater or something, and if I scroll past yours and it has 1 star, I'm not even looking at it. I'm just gonna go back. And it's all because someone just didn't match the rest of her outfit.
Right.
Like, okay,
Right.
well,
Right. Right. Okay.
sorry for colors.
Any other crazy like customer experience stories you've ever seen?
Oh man, it's been a really long time since I worked directly in customer service, but there were a few pretty funny product safety ones for sure. There was one woman who, again, back to how Amazon can see everything. Amazon can see your history, your call history whenever you phone into CS. So I get a contact from my manager this one day that says that this woman phoned in very upset because she had received a health and personal care item that was used. She screams at this person. I listened to the call. I'm just laughing because she's so mad, and it doesn't make sense. And then I start to look back at her history, and she phones in. I think that she either drinks a lot, at least
Hmm.
something's going on with her.
Uh-huh.
It's really lonely and chatty, and she phones into Amazon. And what we think ultimately happened with that is that she had used the product herself, had it back,
Uh-huh.
and then forgot. And then, like a month later, she's like, "Oh,
Right.
use that thing." And then,
Right.
yeah, so she gets on the phone.
Right. Well, yeah, that's pretty funny actually. Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
hate calling
yeah.
Amazon seller support. I just hate doing it. But I just never seem to get anywhere. But all right,
Yeah.
Emily, that was really informative, and I really appreciate you coming on, and we'll definitely be in touch. Thank you so much, Emily.
Thanks for having me.
All right, bye.